Hey, let's talk business, let's talk Thailand. Okongkran. I had a great time in Thailand. I must confess that going there as a tourist is very good. Uh, I have very good memories of Thailand. It is a very good destination to go as a tourist. Okay, but then we go back to the business world. The Jewish Messianic Buddhist version, they go to Thailand, to Asia, they purchase all these symbols of peace and Buddhist. They find it pretty, and then they go, they put it on their houses, and that causes a lot of confusion. But I was in Thailand for 3 months. I also have a social security from Thailand. Um, how my payment method was, he's just standing up and he told me to leave the office. Was the first supplier of rice to visit. And the reasons that Jewish Messianic Ashkenazi, but I knew he was because there was a translator he was an American Thai guy, and he was making the translation Thai language, and that's why I insisted, because I wanted to understand what was the position of the owner of the rice mill, because he was the one who needed to give me credit. And then by his reaction, I said, okay, he's Jewish Messianic Ashkenazi, and it's okay, every religion, different religion, but that's why I was for 1 month the first time I went to Thailand, because I knew it was not going to be easy to identify the supplier, and it was not easy. It took me like 6 or 8 months of negotiations to process my first shipment from Thailand. It was a lot of work. I used to work even in the Thai time zone, in Dublin, Ireland. I would wake up midnight, go to the office at 1 in the morning, and I'll be working for like 2 in the morning to 10 in the morning in Dublin, Ireland, following the exact same time zone of Bangkok, to do all the logistics, because I'm a logistician. I do import, export, logistics, international finance, international logistics. So it is a very complicated task to ship. So, and I developed the brands and my rice bags, the plastic bags. They have to be all the design in Arabic and Thai language with the reports, certificates. There's a lot of bureaucracy involved, the letters of credit, the payments, and so that's why. And then, okay, after with this fantastic multi-million-dollar success in Thailand, my sales, they skyrocket, also because the efficiency of Thai people is very good. They're very detailed, and they do all the paperwork. For a logistician, that's like paradise. They do everything so exact, no mistakes, no. So it is a very good business. And then you go back to why the banking community in Dublin took the decision not to allow me to process payments through Dublin, Ireland. It goes to banking problems in Dublin, Ireland, in the United Kingdom, in the USA too. Okay, which is the banking, because this is finance. Is that all my payments to Thailand, they should go through international finance, trade finance. I should send my letters of credit to Thailand, and Thailand should not be involved as much in my payments from my customers in Africa. But I had to train and all my job to Thai businessmen, because the government of the Republic of Ireland, the government of the United Kingdom, and the government of the United States, they took the decision not to allow me to do that. And then you go back to domestic problems within finance, Exim Bank, the European Union Commission Bank, and Barclays in London, ABC, like banking, ABC Bank New York, and they all know me, and that's why I gave this option for Thai companies to ship on my behalf. And then, okay, once they took the decision to steal, okay, then we go back to lawsuits and legal matters. Like, okay, what's my legal security doing business in Thailand? And then we go to my lawsuits and my collection lawsuits. And again, this is also now the diplomacy, because again, for me to go to Bangkok and explain to the local police how to operate international payments, what's money laundering, and like it's local, because it goes to I need to go to the police of Tallinn Shung in Bangkok, simply explain you China, what is all of this. It's a very complicated invoice. So now it's the hand of the Thai embassies and the Thai departments of commerce, because that's my question, like why does the government of Thailand sponsors all these institutions to persuade us to go do business in Thailand, and then once we have a problem that we've been embezzled by Thai companies, like where is my money? Like where is this money? Where is this? This is about Tuna, Mass Choice Corporation. Like I produced over $20 million worth of sales of tuna in cans from Thailand to Africa, and I'm just working off my active customers. I'm not working with estimations of future business. I think I should be shipping like fortunes out of Thailand now, but they overpowered me and they took the decision to falsify my brand, whatever, like, and I'm like, why do I have to go now to Bangkok and talk to the local police as if there is an embassy in London? Because the embassy in London advised me to talk to the attorneys there, which I did, and actually I paid about $5,000 to these attorneys in Bangkok. They are British, Italians, and Thai. But there's no solution there, because this is criminal law. That's the thing. This is fraud, and this is criminal law. And then criminal law is the police security. So it's the police in Thailand that has to take some white-collar action to stop these two companies, Mass Choices Tuna and Shiva Rice, TMP rice mill. So this is the same process as Brazil. Audit all these statements, check where this money has been sent to, who are they shipping to, why they took the decision not to pay LA Group USA, not to pay LA Group Europe, not to pay LA Group UK. Like Valai, she's the owner of TMP rice mill. She sends her child to study in the UK. And then she's doing business with a UK company. And I wonder, like, if you don't pay my fees, why do you send your child to study in the United Kingdom? Like, I understand that you do not like the United Kingdom, otherwise it would pay me. And then you go to the Jewish Messianic community, because that's a community that I think with the Jewish Orthodox we need to come with a solution plan, because it's really too difficult to handle them, because it's like, I believe she's going to the UK just to maybe understand how to act and exist on a facade British person, and then but to be Jewish. And why don't you go to Israel and you become Jewish? Why you go to the UK and try to create this facade? Is anybody following me here? Like, it's like there was this Jewish lady from São Paulo city, for example, that she paid $25,000 cash to purchase the first Louis Vuitton purse in San Francisco. And it was an acquaintance of mine took this plane first class from Miami to San Francisco, and San Francisco to São Paulo to bring this Louis Vuitton purse. The Louis Vuitton purse cost about $20,000, and then $20,000 extra was the costs, the logistics for him to bring this purse, because she needed to show off in this party there in São Paulo city that she was French, that she had this Louis Vuitton purse from France purchased in California. And you're like, why don't you just become French? It's not going to cost you $40,000. Why do you need to show that you're French if you are Jewish? And then the Jewish community say they're not Jewish because they celebrate Christmas. And it's very confusing, but we need to find a solution because otherwise the world is going to be on this yes, no, no, yes, no, yes, yes, no situation and forever. And we need to do something a bit more balanced. And that's why I have the cross-cultural process. I'm positive that Valai and you, Chana, they love going shopping in Singapore. Okay, but is there any chance to do this with your own money, not with Augustin's money? I'm the one paying for that. Is that easier that you do that with your own? And also, like, I'm a good payer. That's the thing. Like, I don't really get like why the whole thing is so like, because I'm the customer. I'm trusting Thailand. Like I sent millions of dollars on sales to Thailand. Like why do you compensate me with hate? Why, instead of paying your bill and saying thank you, you cut me off, you do slander, you do defamation, and you try to act British, sending your child to study in the UK and explaining that in proper English you don't say two car, you say two cars. They're saying like, thank you very much for the grammar, English grammar classes, but is there any chance you pay your bill and let me go? And that's the case. L906-19 and L907-19 against My Choices Corporation and Shiva Rice Corporation. And Rice and Tuna, there is more businesses. I did more businesses with Thailand, but let's just focus on these ones which are very grounded and realistic. And now there's a police siren here. Look. They say they're sending the police to Rosario because of all the drug dealers and all that here. But that Rosario is a very dangerous city. That's what I am. But anyways, very good. Very good sign to close this video now. Okay. Hopefully the police is going to show up there at Uchana and Valai offices in Bangkok and say, "There's any chance the girls pay this bill and let this guy go." Okay. And that's Best Rice. Best Rice is a brand that I have developed in Thailand, which was in Miami first, but actually the bags are produced in Thailand. I have shipped it to Kenya, Sierra Leone, Togo, Libya, San Martin, and then everything stopped because they took the decision to do money laundering, fraud, same cases, not that different from Brazil, not that different from the United States, not that different from Argentina. Is the word as we live today, 2021. So let's hope now the government of Thailand is going to take some do their due diligence and at least pay my bill, and then they have the time they want to solve the problems domestically in Thailand. But please pay my bill, and that's why I'm sending the letters to the embassy of Thailand in Buenos Aires, also because I'm physically in Argentina now. If the embassy of Thailand wants to have a meeting, I can go there. It's only 2 hours drive. I go there and I have this meeting. Let's look at that. Can we wrap it up this case and close this and please pay this bill? And then from Thai to Thai, I don't speak the local language. They come with a solution plan about what to do. One of the solutions, I believe, then you go into communism. For some reason, China is doing well, and because the Chinese government owns part of this company, so they had to be in the law to exist. And maybe that does make sense because it's like, what country does Valai live? What country does Yuchana? Are they really Thai people? Because let me go to the Jewish Messianic, okay? Because Jewish people, they are very international, they're everywhere. But then they have Israel, where you can be a full Orthodox Jewish environment, and then the Jewish family and their things and private things. And then you have this Jewish Messianic people that for this I am Jewish, for that I'm Christian, for this I am Buddhist, and then I have a Buddhist there. And okay, is there any chance you can have some sort of consolidated culture there? Because you can't be this mutant person that my customers are buying American product, and usually Americans want Christian because the Americans understand the Christian Thanksgiving, Christmas. Usually that's the big picture of America, and also European. And then I believe American even more than European, and that's why my customers are buying. And if they want to buy Jewish products, they will go to Israel and buy less technology. I just have some experience with the very trendy developed compostable package from Israel Technology. It's Israeli, it's Israel. Okay, to go buy that there. But this is rice, this is American, this is tuna. And this is what I was trying to develop with Thailand, with their Buddhists, and I'm Christian. And there is a lot of things in common. Like, and then the Jewish Messianic community, they show up and they overpower everybody. They impose something that has nothing to do with Islam, has nothing to do with Christianity, has nothing to do. And then we're like, maybe it has to do with Judaism. But can we just sell Judaism, buy Judaism? Because it's very confusing. It's the bait and switch thing. It's like, you bait as a Christian, you bait as a Buddhist, and then you are Jewish. Like, it just does not work. It's called bad business, okay? In English, we say bad business. We also say talking is cheap, actions matter. So I understand Valai and Nuchana as Jewish Thai, okay? Even if the Jewish community say they are not, because they advertise themselves as Buddhists. So they say they're Jewish Messianic, and then it's a. But I believe it's also a matter more of the Jewish community to handle that. And then goes back to other of my complaints. It's like, as we take them as Jewish, like, understand that the Jewish Orthodox has to give the funding to give some sort of social work to make the Jewish Messianic community in Thailand, in Bangkok, in London. I have cases like Money Medic in London, like, so that they interact with other communities peacefully and say thank you very much. I'm not interested in your working with you. I'm not interested, because everybody has the right of saying no. That's the thing. But you can't just bait and switch, bait and switch, and bait and switch, and bait and switch. It's like, because it is crazy. Bait and switch is bad business. It is bad business. It may work for short-term deals. It may work for a pickup. It's pick up something, but that's not Ellie Group. Ellie Group is 14 years, and myself is like over 20 years doing international sales. Like, I went to Thailand for like 3 times. This is 5 years working in Thailand already. 16, 17, 18. Like, physically, okay. Online, it's been way more than that, because on the rice business, Thailand is everywhere. So it's maybe 10 years of Thailand. Okay, it's physically 5 years. Okay, and India even more, but I haven't done business with India. I mean, only online business. I haven't done rice business in India because of the similar problems. Okay, so hopefully the Thai government is going to come with a solution plan and process these payments, close these bills, accept my thank you very much. Every community down will. If they do not want to do business with America, okay, we are competitors maybe. Okay. American rice from America, Thai rice from Thai. But I have shipped Thai rice. My last bags from Thailand was Thai jasmine rice, written in Thailand. It was the jasmine rice. I shipped to Togo, and then when I was overpowered, and the Thai. I understand the Jewish Messianic Thai community, they took the decision to impose other methods of working. That's why we're waiting for the Thai authorities and the Thai government to really come out with a solution plan so we close this case. I mean, it's crazy that I'm selling millions of dollars from Thailand, and it's crazy really, and that I still don't have an invitation to go talk about this. And then I spending all my time talking to Thai people instead of talking to the market, because I should be talking to the market, not to Thailand. But 2021, hopefully these cases are going to be closed sooner than later. I wouldn't say soon, because 3 years is a long time, but sooner than later, not so late. And the bill keeps growing, because I need to work on estimations, so every month I update, and very minimum amounts. Okay, I don't go to realistic estimations about shipments for 2021. I just go for the minimum. Okay, that's going to be the minimum. It's very realistic. My voices are very realistic. Okay, so Okonkrap, all the Thai people who are listening to this, and hopefully the American embassy in Bangkok, they have all my paperwork as well. The American Thai Chamber of Commerce, they have all my paperwork too. We're waiting also for American institutions in Bangkok to really do their due diligence of the negotiations with the Thai government about how to solve this case of bilateral commercial agreements. Because also is that I am in it. I'm in Thailand as an Italian citizen on a personal level, but on a business as American. Okay, USA, Valley Group Industries USA, and there is free trade tax agreement between Thailand and America. And then I wonder, well, this free tax, nobody pays taxes, and now we have no security, and then we have all these imposters and gangsters. Maybe it's not politically correct to call the Jewish Messianic community imposters, but maybe that's how the Jewish Orthodox considers them. But maybe the Europeans, we should agree with the Orthodox that they are imposters because they're not Christian, they're not Buddhist, and they're. I wouldn't say about. I consider they're more. If you need to choose, I think they're more Jewish than Buddhists. Okay, because actions is what matter. Again, we go to that. Okay, but they act as Jewish, and then they negotiate as Jewish, and it's about how they introduce themselves. It's Buddhist or Christian, but the method of work is because then we go to the altruism, because the Jewish religion, as far as I understand, they preach not to be altruistic. They say altruism is a weakness. It's not a strength, and Christians, we believe it's a strength, and that's really contradictory. That's why it's very complicated to be Jewish and Christian at the same time, because Christianity follows Judaism. It's the second. It's evolved from Judaism, so it can't be. Okay, if you are Jewish, is that you just deny Christianity and you are Jewish. But if you are Jewish and Christian, you're bipolar. There's a lot of bipolar people out there. So a lot of people taking drugs, a lot of people doing psychologies and psychiatry pills and all that. Okay, yes, because you were Christian and Jewish, you are bipolarity. Okay, so well, thank you for watching. 20 minutes, a long one, but this is the most expensive of lawsuits of all, and it was a great job. I'm trying to do business with Vietnam as well, Malaysia, but we always go to the same no situation with this banking crisis. Like why bankers cannot operate in the white market? Why it has to be all the black market? Why it has to be all under the cover? Why it has to be under the table? Why you can't just operate face to face? That's a big problem with the banking world today. Everything's shady, everything's secret, and you are okay. So hopefully these lawsuits are going to be closed sooner than later. Okay. Shalom Shabbat Tova for the Jewish people watching this. Greetings from Argentina for the Christian community watching this. Okon Krab for the Buddhist community watching this. And okay, cheers.